Hello, this is Miss Schrader. Today we are going to be talking about the philosopher Confucius. My students, you need a piece of paper and something to write with so you can take some notes. When you're done, you're going to be giving me 5 complete sentences on what you have learned about Confucius, what you think is important, educational, and interesting. We're going to start by looking at this particular picture. This was done by Wu Dao Zai between 685 and 758 CE. So this is quite some time after Confucius's time. So we don't really have any pictures of him from his actual time period, but this one is one of the ones that most people accept. Here are some words to help you with your spelling. We've got the word Confucius. His actual name was Kung Fu Si. Um, this was the Chinese version. Confucius is actually a Latin version given by Europeans later on. He was born or lived his life between 551 and 479 BCE. He was born in Chou in Shandong province in the state of Lu. At that time, China was not united into one country. Um, his philosophy is referred to as Confucianism. One of his big things is filial piety, a strong family loyalty, which is shown with loyalty of father and son, eldest child and younger child, husband and wife. And basically, everything he was doing was based on this concept that the child should do what the father tells him to do. Otherwise, the child is shaming himself and his father. Similarly, the relationship of a king and a man is based on this concept. The younger child should do what the older child tells him to do, otherwise, he is shaming himself and his sibling. The wife should do what the husband tells her to do. And the concept is that the other person, the king, the husband, the older sibling, is going to take care of the person who's lower down as a result of all this concept. Um, he developed what is referred to as the golden rule. Do not do unto others what you would not want done to yourself. And of course, in modern English, we put it do unto others as you would have done unto you. His most famous writings were actually the Analects, which were stories that his students wrote down after he died. This map will show you the state of Lu, which is along the Yellow Sea, and that is where Confucius was from. At the time of Confucius's life, China was not united. All of the states were in conflict. Each state was trying to defeat the other state. Now, a lot of people today say that Confucius was a religious leader, that his ideas are religious. They're not. He really doesn't talk a whole lot about God and things like that. Everything he's talking about deals with the relationship of people. He was a would be politician. He was going from state to state trying to convince the kings to follow his philosophy, the philosophy that today we call Confucianism. The ideas that we've put forward about filial piety and the father will take care of the son and the son will be respectful to the father and so on. He believed that as long as everybody did all of this stuff, China would be at peace and people would be calm and there would be no war. And so he's going around trying to convince people to follow this. This is a fresco of Confucius done around 202 BCE. It's in a cave in Dongping County in Shandong province, and that's the province he was from. Once again, this is a long time after his death, so we really don't know a lot about what he looked like. During his lifetime, not a lot of people were following his philosophy. They weren't much into it. But after his death, a lot of kingdoms came up with this idea of following his ideas. And it became extremely popular in China. Throughout Chinese history, the concepts that as each person takes care of the other one, each one respects the person who is with him. These rules become very clear, and it tries to make sure that the society is run more clearly. This is a copy of the Analects, which is a book about Confucius's teachings. It is believed that his followers wrote this book. They're talking about him giving them advice and telling them how to live their lives. Um, just for your information, Chinese writing is written from top to bottom and from left to right. So, very much different from the way that we do it. Um, and so it's giving these ideas along with the golden rule. Um, do not do unto the others what you would not want done to yourself. They also have some really practical advice. There's this story about when the stables were burnt down on returning from court, Confucius said, "Was anyone hurt?" He did not ask about the horses. So he's more concerned about the people than the animals. And this is the concept that goes with um, his teachings, his Confucian teaching. After Confucius's death, his writings, his ideas became more and more popular with various different governments because it does teach the idea of following the rules. Some governments did not like them at all and were inclined to be destructive of them. A lot of Asian cultures have turned Confucianism almost into a religion, even though it is really much more of a political philosophy. The building that you're looking at is the Temple of Confucius at Jiangyan Wuzi Jiangshu. Um, and it says that it is a temple where Confucius is worshipped as a god. So he has been turned into a god. As Europeans began to travel around the world learning things about different cultures, they eventually discover Confucius and they Latinize his name to Confucius. They start treating him like he's extremely special. This booklet was published in 1687 and it is called Confucius, the Philosophy of the Chinese, and it's published by Jesuit missionaries. So it's published by Christians who liked the idea of that responsibility between one person and another and having it really organized and neat the way he put it. And Confucius and his ideas became so popular amongst Europeans that you can find him in things like this painting here. This painting was done by Jean Baptiste Mauzai in 1827. It's in the Louvre in Paris. It's showing Confucius. He's at the bottom there, but he's with other famous philosophers from around the world. Moses and Muhammad are being shown. I don't know how they know this to be true, but this is stated as being the tomb of Confucius in Kongflin Lin Cemetery in Khufu, Shandong province. So this is in his province. Now keep in mind, this would be a grave that's about over 1,000 years old, so it's going to be pretty old. Okay, my students, we have been discussing Confucius and Confucianism. You're going to give me 5 sentences about what you found interesting, educational, and important about him. And I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.